Today we've got a dbx 160XT compressor and we're going to be adding a balanced output transformer. This is a step-by-step guide of the process. First, remove the 4 corner screws on the right side plate. Now there's 2 more screws that you'll have to take out. One is on the top plate and one is on the bottom plate. Once these are out, the plate should slide out. I did have to wrestle a little bit with the bottom plate, but with some perseverance, it should go. Here is our balanced output transformer. In dbx's manual for the unit, they recommend these suppliers here. First step on the PCB is to desolder or cut the connections labelled Y5 and Y7. These are in the pretty empty looking area of the board. Yep, definitely Y5 and Y7. Now it's time to get the transformer into position. I'd suggest using some folded pieces of paper to raise the transformer up to meet the PCB. Once the transformer is in the right spot and it's applying a little bit of upward pressure to the board, you can now solder all 8 pins in place. Let the joints sit for a bit so they've definitely cooled down before we flip the unit over, because the transformer is quite heavy. Here I would normally test with a multimeter, but I was feeling so confident that I forgot. I just used a zip tie to pull some nearby wires away from the transformer. After everything's sitting nicely, we can go ahead and slide the plates back in. Remember to add the plate screws for both the bottom and top plates. Reinsert the side plate. It might need a little bit of jiggling around before it clicks into place. Chuck back in those 4 corner screws from the beginning. Don't forget to label the unit as modified. Let's go and give this a test. So I've run some basic drum recordings through the compressor on some pretty extreme settings just to give you an idea of the character. The blue track is the dry, unaffected sound. The red track is what I recorded through the unit before we added the output transformer. And the green track is after we added the balanced output transformer. To be honest, as far as I've tested it, I can't perceive a difference between the pre-mod sound and the post-mod sound. The only time I managed to find a measurable difference was when I boosted both noise floors by 20 dB and compared them side by side. So if you're listening on some good headphones or studio monitors, I'm sure you could also hear the post-mod sound is ever so slightly got less electrical hum. And that will absolutely be because of the balanced output transformer. If this extremely specific tutorial helped you in any way, chuck us a like and feel free to leave any questions down in the comments. See you next time.